So what I'm going to be exploring today is the relationship between the mettabhavana practice and forgiveness. I think this is quite an important area because, well, the purpose of, as we know, the purpose of Dharma practice is that we are trying to alleviate suffering in ourselves and others. So the heart of practice really is about trying to seek, find our way towards freedom. And the thing about forgiveness is that it's a very active way of releasing ourselves from a grip on the past. Because as we know, and I'm sure we all kind of feel this, is that wherever we kind of grip within ourselves, within our own experience, that grip is kind of, if not directly in the moment, certainly is creating the conditions for suffering. If we're kind of gripping around a particular sense of ourselves, if we're over identified or fixated on what we've done in the past or what others have or haven't done for us, this really locks us into a particular experience, which is counteracting or working against the metta practice, the practice of love, of connection. Because metta really is the sort of the experience of metta is an opening out, a moving towards, an opening to each other, a sense of care and kindness towards all life. So if we're trying to cultivate metta whilst at the same time being bound in a particular relationship to ourselves or particular parts of our experience, it can create quite an internal tussle, an internal split actually within us. So this is from the Dhammapada. They abused me, they struck me, they overcame me, they robbed me. In those who harbour such thoughts, hatred will never cease. So it's very clear from this short stanza that the Buddha's very, if we kind of cling on to, if we hang on to these thoughts and these views, which we can, as I say, they can be either in terms of our relationship to ourselves or relationship with others, we're actually creating harm. We're actually creating conditions that aren't favourable for our own lives and for those around us. So how do we start to release? How do we start to free ourselves from this kind of being identified or locked, fixated on experiences from the past? So I think probably just to say a few things about this in general. So when I'm talking about forgiveness, we're definitely not talking about, we don't want to confuse it with forgiveness as any sense of condoning actions, what did or didn't happen. We're not saying that's fine, that's kind of how it was, etc. So we're not trying to condone it, but we're still trying to actively release from the past. And forgiveness also, we're not trying to forget what happened. Can still hold it in mind, but it's holding it in mind in a way that we're not locked or identified within those experiences. We can't just choose to kind of blank them from our being. They are there. So all we can do with these experiences of what we have done or haven't done, or what others have or haven't done, these experiences sit there with us, and there's no point trying to forget that, but it's our relationship to them which is what we're trying to work with. And the other thing around forgiveness, just to say that we're certainly not trying to excuse ourselves or others from their actions through forgiveness. What we're trying to do through forgiveness is to free ourselves from the suffering created by identification with those experiences. I think this is the key, really. Yes, these things happened, either to us or we acted in these unskillful ways. So how can we hold them in a way where we're not bound or locked by those experiences? What tends to be the case is when we kind of carry guilt or regret or anger and judgment, what's actually happening there is that we are really binding ourselves in some way into some sort of cyclical pattern, which is just creating a more and more a sense of a fixed sense of ourselves. And of course, you know, the Dharma is teaching us to try to soften and release out of these patterns. So forgiveness is a very important part of trying to bring that kind attention to our experience and actually begin to forgive ourselves and forgive others, in the sense of, yes, these things happened, and we are aiming, we're kind of aspiring to release from the kind of the weight or the hold, the grip these things have on our lives. Probably, I'm sure I'm not alone in this, we can, through past actions, we can get have a sense that if we carry some sort of guilt around our past actions, what that tends to do is undermine our capacity to really to love, to really be open to life. It's somehow guilt or shame, it separates us out from the world. And it carries away, it takes our energy, and maybe brings a sense of worthlessness to our experience. So it's very important that we start to engage, to forgive, so that we don't carry this weight. And the other thing that we can do, we can drop into guilt, or we kind of ignite into anger. So we then, in anger, again, we kind of split ourselves off, we separate out, we isolate the object of our discomfort, our pain. So whether it's guilt or anger, it's the act of separation, and this is what we're trying to work with in the practice, particularly in the practice of the mettabhavana anyway. But by adding this layer of really aspiring to forgive, can really help the mettabhavana practice. So I'm wondering whether that's enough. I've got, I could talk on this for, as you probably know, could talk on this for the whole meditation session, but we're here to meditate. So I think we should move into the practice, and maybe I'll just try to say a little bit as we go through. So we're going to do a 3-stage forgiveness practice, in a way to see this as an associated practice to that. So we have what we're doing here is that will be asking forgiveness from those that we have harmed, asking forgiveness for those who've harmed us, and offering forgiveness to those who've harmed us, and offering forgiveness to ourselves. So it's 3 stages. And I hope through this kind of simple process, we can naturally open out into a sense of metta, being present. So let's just take time now to set ourselves up in meditation. So as in any meditation, we begin by trying to draw our attention down out of our mental activity and down into the felt experience of our body. Meditation as an embodied experience. And just allowing our breath to come and go. And as we breathe out, encouraging our attention down towards into those points of contact with our seat. And the more we can give attention to the seat, to the floor beneath us, just allow our body to begin to soften and relax into that support. Aware of the sounds around us as a means to locate us here on our spot, on our seat. Just broadening our attention out to include a whole sense of the body, the shape of our body, the structure and weight. And particularly those places where we're actually experiencing the body. Where is the body visible to us? And through the sensations of our body, to get a sense of the feeling tone. Our emotional life this morning. And acknowledging the connection between our thoughts, our mental activity, and this felt sense of our body. Seeing how thought affects our body. And can we bring in a conscious sense of care, of kindness towards all this, our bodily experience here and now. Meeting our experience with kindness. So in this first stage, we're asking for forgiveness from those that we have harmed. Just allowing our mind, our feelings to roam freely. And just noticing what events come to mind, what experiences we wish to ask forgiveness for. And if it's helpful, when we meet, when an experience becomes present, a memory, we can just, perhaps if it's helpful, just use the phrase, "I ask your forgiveness." As always with meditation, we're looking to stay with the felt experience, stay with the body. So this is more than a mental exercise. We're really looking to release in the body. So we can see forgiveness is like allowing the grip on that experience to soften. Allow the weight and feeling of that action to release down and back to the earth. Allow the earth to receive and bear witness. So we ask for forgiveness. The actions, the words or deeds are gone. We let go of the grip. Through asking for forgiveness. I invite you to ensure keep coming back to the felt sense of the body. What's happening in the energy within the body? What is visible to you? And moving into the second phase of this practice of forgiveness. So turning towards a sense of the other. In any way we feel we've been harmed or hurt, knowingly or unknowingly. Can we offer forgiveness? Staying with our body, the support of the earth, and carefully, kindly, just opening to any sense of being harmed or hurt. without condoning or acknowledging what's happened. We offer forgiveness. As the means to free us. An act of care and kindness towards ourselves and the other. So recognizing the pain, the actions, the words or deeds that caused us pain, hurt, those things are gone. Can we forgive? Forgive like opening a door, letting free a prisoner. Re-entering our life here and now. Noticing within the body any sense of softening or release through this intention of forgiveness. Coming to rest on our seat with our breath. And offering forgiveness now for all the ways that we have hurt or harmed ourselves, knowingly or unknowingly. All the ways I've hurt or harmed myself, knowingly or unknowingly, I offer forgiveness. I forgive myself. In the practice of the mettabhavana, we're looking to love as a felt experience. Giving attention to our body. As we forgive ourselves for the hurt or the harm we've caused ourselves. Wherever we feel the grip of shame, anxiety, hurt, it's bringing that kind attention to that felt experience. Forgiving the past to release us here and now. Simply opening the prison door. And allowing ourselves to move at our own pace, in our own way. In our own time towards freedom. Just releasing any effort we've been making, absorbing experience as it is. Knowing that you can come back to this practice at any time. Knowing that you are here, seated with others. When you feel ready, ensuring you have a sense of the seat beneath you, your breath in your body. And it's bringing the practice to a close. And when you feel ready, it's opening your eyes. So we're going to have a few minutes break as usual now. So let's come back at